Inshallah, we're going to start shortly. So if there's any brothers that are left upstairs, if you make your way downstairs, and I think the first speaker will be Ustaad Abdul Rahim, talking about the journey to Allah. Um, Again, I'm going to ask brothers to get into the right frame of mind, that you're here with for the intention of learning for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But before I do that, I just want to take just some comments from some brothers, i.e. what was their journey, their objective to come here, just so that each of us can reflect, because we need to have a purpose, especially the brothers that came later in Itekaf. You've only got a finite time, a finite window, brothers. You've only got a finite time or a finite window to really take advantage of what's happening and really turn your attention to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because it will just take that moment, that second, for you to have that sincere intention, and then for you to direct yourselves towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I'm just going to take from some brothers. Let's start with Brother Mansoor. Do you not hear what I'm saying?
No, I try not to listen. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The first objective I had, it was to regain all the amals and other things I have been missing, and to regain strength with Allah's fadl. And I think with Allah's fadl, alhamdulillah, I'm on my way. Allah knows best. Do it shortly.
It's basically to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I was coming out of the track, so I feel that my battery is charged up, and I'm really motivated to go back and do my all amals.
Brother Abdul Rahman, we'd like to hear some words from you, inshallah.
I think my objective really was to re-establish a link, and now I've come back and refocus actually what is priority in my life.
MashaAllah, and we'll inshallah just hear finally from Uncle Iqbal, just to hear what he has to say in terms of his objective of being here.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. With Allah's fazl, my aim was to come to this. First of all, is the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then, because we're here, we get taught practical knowledge and support how to implement that in our life and identify the obstacles and desires. And I feel that this is one of the reason, or the main reason, I'm here in this masjid, because I get identified what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, and the practical help is there. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. I'm not disappointed again this year. This has been wonderful.
Alhamdulillah, inshallah. So that's good to hear for the different brothers for their objectives. But the purpose is that everyone should have an objective as to why they're here, rather than just coming here and sitting here, because that way you'll achieve something more or something better. So just a final call for any brothers that are left upstairs, whether they've been here before or they haven't been here before, they should make the effort to come and partake in the beyond. On that note, inshallah, I'm going to pass over to Ustaad Abdul Rahim for his discourse.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli wa nusallim ala Rasulil Kareem. Amma ba'd, fa'uzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal lazina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amin. As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya Rasulullah. As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya Habiballah. As-salamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. Amma ba'd. Who has given us time in order to reflect his blessings and to live through another blessed month of Ramadan. And all salam and durood and salutation to the most beloved messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who has given us the key to his kingdom, to reaching Allah Azza wa Jal, and showing us the best of ways in order to live in dunya and achieve the pleasure of Allah. And to all those who have followed, the companions, the blessed family of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the pious and righteous people who have lived, who are living, and who have passed. All peace and blessings be upon those who have followed. Alhamdulillah, we have now going through the blessed month of Ramadan, and we are almost near to an end. So in Ramadan, in every month, in every day, Allah Azza wa Jal wants us to achieve something in this month, achieve something in each day. This is why Allah Azza wa Jal commands the servants to come to Him at least 5 times a day. The azan is called 5 times. Allah Azza wa Jal, with His mercy and infinite kindness, He calls us, forces the servant to come to His presence so that he benefits, the servant benefits from Him. Because Allah Azza wa Jal is no need for Him to be worshipped, nor to be praised, but really it is for our own benefits. And in the words of the azan, that if you should come to success, success is coming to Allah Azza wa Jal. All success lies in answering this call. So there are many calls which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends the servant throughout the year, throughout the day, the call to the servant. And there should be a response from the servant. And those who do not respond to them, then he will be unsuccessful in both lives. In a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam, it is mentioned that the companions saw the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam climbing the mimbar. As he ascended each step, he sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Ameen, Ameen, Ameen. He was not making any dua in front of the companions. So they wondered that why has the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was saying Ameen. And when it was asked to the beloved Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam that why is it that when you were climbing this mimbar, why were you saying Ameen? We want to take lesson, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned to the companions and said that when I was climbing the 3rd step, I could hear Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam, and he was making dua. And the dua he mentioned was that destruction to him who have found the blessed month of Ramadan and have left and has passed by without him benefiting, without him being forgiven by Allah Azza wa Jal. Destruction be upon him. And I said, Ameen. Imagine this, that the Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam, it is not a normal person making dua, which is the angel of all angels making dua for this. And he said, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Ameen. The second dua, Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam mentioned and said, destruction to him who have seen one of or both of his parents in old age and did not attain paradise through them. Destruction be upon him. And the Prophet ﷺ said, I heard this and I said, Ameen. And the third, Hazrat Jibreel ﷺ said that destruction be upon those who, after hearing the name of the Prophet ﷺ and who do not give ﷺ, do not respond to the salam, destruction be upon him. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Ameen. So those who do not follow the call of Allah Azza wa Jal, destruction and unsuccessful will he be, that who do not follow the month of Ramadan and is not forgiven. Imagine this, so the importance of Ramadan, if you do not benefit, then this will fall upon the person. So as you can see, keeping the jewels of Ramadan is our topic today. So this whole Ramadan was to attain something. Like Salah is to attain something. Every month, every week, you have to attain something. Especially, so what is the quality of Ramadan? So we'll be going through this in how to keep the jewels of Ramadan alive. So Ramadan is passing, we only have a day maybe, or maximum 2 days. Today, tomorrow maybe Eid. So Ramadan has gone, almost it's going, really we only have a day or two left. It has gone like really the flash of light. Every year it's going like this. How many people that we remember last year who are not in this Ramadan? So many people are leaving this world, and this could be our last Ramadan. Have we really thought that this Ramadan could be our last? Our last Taraweeh? Our last Durud Majlis? Our last Sehri? This could be our last Ramadan. So this time is very precious to the believers, and we should use it before Ramadan ends. So even now, we should use it as our last Ramadan. Only a few hours may be left. And you should think and ponder to yourself how this Ramadan you have used. And have you attained the purpose of Ramadan? Coming to the purpose of Ramadan, I want you to look at this picture. Many of you may already seen the picture, but it has relation to Ramadan. It has relation to the objective that we are trying to achieve. Now, in your pairs who is beside each other next to you, I want you to discuss for about a minute how this picture is relevant to Ramadan. So you can see this person is in the ocean, he's diving, he's looking for... So you look at this, how is it relevant to Ramadan? So 1 minute, inshallah, I'll give you. The pictures are... Okay, inshallah, now you've had enough time. So just finish off what your discussion is now. And I want to take hands, inshallah, if they can give me the answer. Someone who has never seen this picture before. Just, yeah, brother.
So the ocean of the represents Allah's mercy and forgiveness. Yeah, of course. Sorry. And in some way we are submerged in, Allah has now submerged us in His mercy and His forgiveness. And the objective of Ramadan is to attain His mercy and His forgiveness.
Represent what you're saying. So think deeper. Inshallah, this part is partly correct.
The light is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's light in the darkness of the dunya.
Okay.
Something like that.
Anyone go on, Brother Zaf? See this on the screen? So we need the picture up on the screen. This is what it is. So Ramadan is the ocean. So how vast the ocean of dunya is. If you imagine the vast ocean of dunya, imagine people have not even, they say that, the scientists say that they hardly know anything about the ocean at all. So what to say about the Ramadan itself, even the blessings of Ramadan in that ocean. And fast is to dive. So more deeper you dive, you'll reach your purpose. And worship is to swim. Swim deeper and you'll find what? The most precious pearl, which is what? Taqwa. Taqwa is the purpose of Ramadan. So this is what you should have known, because Ramadan is almost finished now, and if you're still looking for something else, then you may not find it. Our purpose is to find that taqwa that everyone is supposedly supposed to find in Ramadan. So this is the purpose of Ramadan. So Ramadan is the ocean, and fasting is to dive, and worship is to swim, and taqwa is the pearl that we are trying to find. Now, as you know, in any task there is a mission, and you should think that you are on a mission in this dunya. Everyone's on a mission. Like you have your boss gives you a mission to, for example, someone to stack up shelves. How many cages can you get through, of stocking? Other person, how many, if people are cab drivers or something, for example, maybe how much people you can get through to their destinations. So some people try to attain much money in one night. Whatever it may be, there's a purpose and there's a mission that we all have. So the mission of Ramadan is really to attain this jewel of taqwa. And taqwa is the door which actually brings the closeness to Allah Azza wa Jal. Enriches the soul. It enriches the soul. So taqwa. So what is taqwa? Can someone tell me what taqwa is? You have gone through Ramadan and the purpose
So, taqwa is to gain the presence of Allah throughout the acts, the amals and other things that we've done in Ramadan, and then to be aware of the presence of Allah, and then to do everything for the pleasure of Allah ultimately.
Acha, mashallah.
That's why my take is.
That's fine, it is there, you're close to it. But taqwa, there's a definition of taqwa you can all see on the screen. If brothers can put this on the screen. It's really, it is, in other words, it is a quality that Allah wants you to attain. Really. Now, it's the presence of Allah inwardly and outwardly. And it is really a skill at the end. Like driving, you can't see, by looking at someone, you can't just see them, okay, this person can drive. It's something within that you use your power. Something is a specific skill, like someone who swims. He has to go through in the sea, in the water. He has to build and train the body so it attains this level of swimming. Or if he just goes in swimming and he doesn't know how to swim, he'll drown. So just to come into the dunya and you don't know what taqwa is, then the shaitan will actually drown you in his sins and the disobedience. So we have to train the body, mind, heart and soul to attain taqwa. And sometimes you can know what taqwa is by the effects of taqwa. And there are 4 effects of taqwa. And this what should have been our objective. This one you should know. And this is one of them, is to give preference to the command of Allah Azza wa Jal. To give preference to the command of Allah is what? Is when you put Allah's command before everything else. When sleep comes, when Fajr comes, you have the choice to get up, or you follow your desires or the desire of Allah Azza wa Jal. Do you follow your call, which is your nafs, telling you to sleep and carry on and becoming heedless? Or do you follow the call of Allah Azza wa Jal? So you put the highest level of a call, of response to the command of Allah Azza wa Jal. Second one is to give preference to the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So what does that mean? Can someone tell me what that means? To give preference to the Sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. What do we mean? We hear this, but what does it mean?
Basically, to follow his sunnahs outwardly as well as inwardly by having good characteristics.
But the key is to give preference. So the preference is that even, there are many lifestyles. Alhamdulillah, that's fine. There are many lifestyles we have, but which lifestyle are you going to choose? That is the choice. That is the question. But out of all of these lifestyles, you should give preference to all other lifestyles, the life of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That's when this is the effects of taqwa. If you want to see if someone has attained taqwa, this is 2 of them. To give preference to the command of Allah in his life, inwardly, outwardly, in the public and alone. So that's one of them. Second one is to give preference to the command, the lifestyle of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam over all other lifestyles. One of them is following the Sunnah, and the greatest characteristic is the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Turning your character into the character of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, attaining these qualities. It is not just physical appearance as such, but the inward appearance and obedience is more effective than the outer. Because then if the inner self is more obedient, then the outer self will come out. And thirdly is to give compassion upon the creation. Now compassion is to put others before yourself. Put others before yourself. Be it in helping them, giving them advice, giving them property which to help them, money, funding, whatever it may be. But the most importantly is to save them from the day of judgment, to save their soul, giving them advice of akhirah and helping them, having compassion. And fourthly is to have the presence of Allah Azza wa Jal. So meaning what? is always to be in the presence of Allah. That Allah is the one who's watching me, seeing me, present with me. It is I'm not alone when I am alone in my room. Allah Azza wa Jal is with me. In public, I'm not going to offend someone because I know Allah Azza wa Jal is in present with me. I'm not going to see others in a jealousy way or anything because I know Allah Azza wa Jal is the one who gives everything. So this is something, you have presence with Allah no matter where you are, what you are doing. So what is the effects of taqwa? Can someone tell me? I just mentioned it. It should be a clue. So what are the 4 effects of taqwa? Can someone tell me? So I just mentioned it 2 seconds ago and you forget. Go on, Iqbal. One of them, inshallah.
Giving preference to Allah's command in all situations.
An example?
Example is that, for example, that the time to come and you've got an opportunity to benefit from something by telling a lie. And if you refrain from that, at that moment you remember,
right,
and that is a sign of taqwa.
MashaAllah. So the following the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set commands of how we should behave with people and how we should respond to people, keeping that in the mind when you are speaking in the presence of people, etc. Second one,
giving preference to the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
An example of this?
For example, going to sleep with wudu is sunnah. Sometimes you get lazy and you just want to go to sleep. So,
MashaAllah. So the Prophet said to actually sleep with wudu is also giving preference to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's true because sleep comes, you have a choice to go sleep without wudu, or do you follow the lifestyle of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who themselves always did wudu before going to sleep. So you give preference, even though you may be tired, you rather wear the clothing of wudu before you go to sleep. How blessed that person is. Third effect, can someone tell me?
Is it, having compassion upon creation.
Yes, and give me an example of this compassion upon creation you mentioned.
It's like helping people with their needs.
Very much. So helping people, putting them before you. What happens is that. Yeah.
It's a practical example.
Yeah.
Is that compassion and creation, when the time of sleep, those people who are talking, and for example, they're not letting others sleep.
Yeah.
They're not having a compassion on the creation.
Yeah.
Now, you would look at a real example.
To put others before you, so disturbing people at the time of sleep, like Uncle have said, again you give them preference and you actually don't talk. So that is another thing. Having compassion, we mentioned, and the 4th one, someone tell me. Oh, I've just put it up now. It's gone now, so you can't see.
It's to always be in the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to know that in public and private that
MashaAllah. That's fine, so you understand, and no matter where a person is, he should be in the presence of Allah Azza wa Jal. Now Ramadan is ending, as you know. So we know what we are supposed to achieve in Ramadan, the 4 effects. Now you you to enter paradise. Because you'll be in the mindset of these 4 conditions, of these 4 effects at the end of Ramadan. You should have some level of it at least. So the jewels of closeness, which is taqwa. So our aim is to take this jewel. Remember, now we're going to go into a mission now, into a voyage, into a journey. So you understand where, now I've attained taqwa, the jewel of taqwa, where should I take this taqwa to? This is where we're going to try and find, and how shaitan tries to actually take this jewel away from us. And this is the voyage, this is the mission that we're trying to take this jewel of taqwa into the land of Allah Azawajal, to the land of Allah. And this is when death will come. That's when you will reach that land. No matter where you are, you'll reach this land one day. And it will be seen that what have you brought to Allah Azawajal. So that's our, remember, this is our mission. So what does it mean? So imagine you're on a voyage, you're on a mission. You're in a mission. Like the oceans that you've dived in the ocean, the vast ocean, and you've attained and you found this jewel of taqwa in Ramadan. Now you have come with this taqwa, which after Ramadan it will be the beginning of the test. You should know that many people in dunya, so like this picture, so you are all in a mission in the oceans of dunya. So this is now you've attained taqwa, now you have to take it somewhere. There will be many attractions in this world. Like you see many islands are in this world. When the voyage, when you're going through your boat or your ship, you see many islands look attractive. The seas will be rough. The tests will come. There will be other ships there as well who will try to stop you. The pirate ships will stop you. So think of these things. So there will be distractions so that you lower your guard. That's what shaitan wants. So you don't see him coming. He'll try to board your ship. He'll try to board your ship and take this taqwa. So what is, your ship is your body. The ship is the body, and you are trying to take this body to the land of Allah Azawajal. So the pirates, like we mentioned on this journey, the pirates are the shayateens who will patrol the land of dunya. So the sea is the dunya that it will patrol and will try and take and aboard your ship. And trying to aboard your ship to steal everything he has, everything. So like you have, sometimes what happens is that many people will scatter their jewels, just leave it on the sea so everyone can see it. They put it here and there. Would you put the jewel which is the most expensive out on show? You would not show that. In London, obviously, you know what I work as. Now we have a prolific crime in London, which is increasing, and this crime is moped theft. So there's people on the mopeds, these kids or youngsters on the moped, 2 of them. One rides, while the other one snatches the mobile phones. He sees someone on the mobile phone, and he will snatch this mobile phone from them. And he won't do it once. So the phone call comes to the police. They won't do it once. They will do the whole road. Whoever they see vulnerable, they do the next road. The next road, what happens? Police are behind them. It doesn't stop there. They do the following road until they actually do every road that they can. So even the police are behind them, it doesn't stop them. Because they're on a moped. And everyone has their 700, 800 pound phone on display. Imagine. They don't care, they're on display. And one person, I asked, nowadays you have people who are doing, you may think hands-free is also safe. So I was once on a bus stop and I was seeing a sister who wear hijab and everything. And she was talking on the phone. Well, I didn't know she was on the phone, but she was just talking. When I looked, she had the hijab was on top of the phone, and it was like this. And it was more bigger than the actual keypad, so everyone can see this phone. One is you're holding the phone, at least you have some safeguard that you lose the hijab which is covering the her head as well. So imagine how safeguard we have become, or we are thinking about the safety or the vulnerability. So this is just the safety of the mobile phone which people value. Everything mobile phone now people value so much. If you ask someone how many mobile phones you have, they actually have more mobile phones than children now. So this is one of So what is your first mobile for? And he said, this is for my personal, my friends and my social thing. If I needed to be somewhere and something's trouble's going there, this is the phone I look for. Or if I need any help, this is the first phone I pick up. So I go, okay, that's fine. What is the second mobile phone for then? This is like for, so one is social, and this is for my business. So business, to be honest, business is the social, is the call that you make to your friends saying, I need help. I need the gang to come down because I'm in trouble. This is his business phone. And his private phone is, family and, social, family friend, I said, then, okay, that's fine. I said, so what is the third phone for? This is the wife. So I go, okay, I guess that was deliberate, because yes. So I said to him, what happens if you're in trouble and you pick up the wife phone and you need all the boys to come down? Because then it would be a big mistake, because if I left the wife's phone and I only called my mother and I said, Mum, I need help, and I realized I called my mum, then I have the wrong phone. Because this is why you have so many phones, you should keep to one really. So people have different means. So what I'm trying to get at is that people have mobile phones and they don't safeguard these things, and mobile phone is everything to someone. They can't live without one day or 5 hours or 1 minute. Even after Salah, we have to look who called us, who gave us text message, what's on WhatsApp, This is what's happening. So mobile phone is something that we find precious. We find precious. If we lose the mobile phone, it's like we lost everything. So we should safeguard our taqwa, our jewels of Ramadan even more, because the robbers are patrolling like these robbers on mopeds even more than one person or two person. And shaitan is like this, roaming, and he does not care where. He will not, at least it happens on the streets, these mobile robberies. It won't happen inside your house. It won't happen when you're inside at work, maybe in a building. But these things, the robber will come, shaitan will come even everywhere you are. He'll try to take the jewel of taqwa. So just to get through this, so what is taqwa? Taqwa, as we know, is the jewel that we're trying to safeguard. Where is the taqwa? What is the safeguarding this? The body is the ship. This body is what shaitan is trying to aboard. Remember, this is what you're trying to protect. You see, in the oceans, you have pirates, in the Gulf oceans and etc. You have pirates who are trying to aboard these carts, which are taken to the western, islands of might be cars, technology, and etc. And they come with the most smallest boats that people do not detect. So and what their aim is to aboard your ship, because once they aboard, what happens? They will take hostage. They take hostage of that ship, control it, and take it back to their land. And they take everything that you, whatever is inside this ship. It might be millions and billions of products. This is what's happening in the Western, in the world now. The pirates, so they have people patrolling. So this is the body, and the greatest jewel is Iman. Inside this ship you have the greatest jewel, Iman. And taqwa is part of this. Because if taqwa goes, the Iman will also fade away. This is, you should know. This is the treasure of everything that you hold. Now, as we know, how shaitan enters this ship is by the 7 organs of the body. So you may have gone through with the Ustads how to purify, how to control your body. Now control your ship, have safeguard on that ship. And they aboard how? By the 7 organs of the body, the tongue, the eyes, the hands, the feet, the stomach, the private part. These are channels where shaitan can aboard. These are channels, aboarding the ship. So that's how he wants to board, and what he does until he reaches the chest, the greatest chest, which is Iman. And slowly people, after committing disobedience, they committed disobedience, sin, etc. And then after that, they become heedlessness. Then after that, they fall into shaitanic means. And after that, they forget about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala completely. And then they lose the connection with Allah as well. And this is how shaitan deepens into the ship, makes hostage of every single one of the ship until he reaches the taqwa and jewel. So now what happens? He boards the ship without us knowing. Sometimes we know, sometimes they come in the form of what? Family. They say something. They come forms of family, someone who's close to your company. This is how they come. They can't directly come. So they come in different means. And his aim is to actually aboard. But you know what? You have to protect yourself. And how do you protect? Who are the guards of these? So they are guards, they are warriors of this ship. And these can be the 7 organs as well. The way that shaitan enters can also become the guards which guards these organs, guards the window of these ship. How they enter these ship, they can become a guard. Like you have bouncers at the door. They stop all the people from doing things wrong in clubs. Shaitan are using these things. You have door people, you have places of security. Now your security is the guards which you turn into the organs, into the guards and the warrior of Allah Azza wa Jal. That is your aim. That is your aim. So what are the guards and how do they do it? The guard, how do you make the tongue a guard? How it enters. How does shaitan enter? Shaitan enters through this window on this ship is by how? When you do anything which is against the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. One of them is through the tongue. When you say, when you backbite, hypocrisy, whatever it may be, this is how it aboards the ship. This is how he aboards. So what happens? He enters the ship. As we know from the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, when a person commits a sin, a black spot appears on the heart and it dominates the heart and darkness is left. Until a person does goodness. When he does goodness, then it's as though shaitan is being fought and taken off this ship. And he has control again. So this is one of the ways that shaitan enters is through the tongue and all the other organs of the body. So inshallah, Ustad and Imam Qais has gone through some of these things just to summarize how you can control and become. You monitor your organs, 30-day course, as brothers have already gone through. So you monitor, you safeguard this tongue, you safeguard the barrier against shaitan, you safeguard your window, your door of entry. You make it the biggest guard you can get. The strongest guard you can get. Until it becomes strong and fighting shaitan. And at the end, you monitor until 30 days consecutively. That is the training of the tongue. And that's how you really at the end, what happens? You have acquired, and there's a blockage, there's a guard in everything. So you do the tongue, the eyes, the hands, until you do all windows of this ship. You safeguard and you put 7 guards against shaitan. And your limbs, these are 7 limbs which you have guards against. And who are they? They are the warriors who become warriors and trained. They become the warriors. They become the ones who will fight shaitan. Can someone tell me where is this picture from? Who are into computer games? I can see the quickest hands up now. Before, no one wanted to put... What is this game? Yeah, everyone played this game. Gee, go on, brother. Assassin's Creed. So what is the mission in Assassin's Creed? So you should know the mission if you're playing it. Okay, okay, right. Does anyone know what the mission is in the Assassin's Creed? Gee. Right, okay. Is Hassan here today with us? So where is Hassan? He's not. So what is the objective, Hassan, on this? So I thought you might be the first 2 hands up. Where shaitan is not aware of them as such. Imagine these are the assassins that shaitan, before shaitan can come, they are destroyed. That's who assassins are. They themselves are not aware. Shaitan is not aware even he can be destroyed before even attempting to attack you. That's how you make your body become the assassins in order to defeat shaitan and protect the ship. Protect your body, mind, heart and soul. For them, do not get into the jewels and the taqwa. So that is the aim, and this is how you can make your body to become the assassins. And what is the mind now? So the mind, shaitan, what will happen? Now we have guards, alhamdulillah. We have guards in the 7 parts of the ship of the body. So now they will still come. So they can't come close now. They can't come close. The pirates can't come close on a board like we saw on the other ones. Like you see on the other ship, that these pirates, they have come so close, they are boarding. Can you see? Can you see? They are boarding the ship of your body. Look how close they're coming. But the person who safeguarded their ship, not even shaitan can come close to him. This is how we should become. If there were assassins from distance, they can fire and the shaitan and the pirates will be destroyed. So how is this? Is really in this way. So shaitan, what he does is that he tries to send whispers of the mind. And how he sends this is like firing bombs, firing missiles in order to get you. Now he can't come close. So what he can do, he's firing things. And this is the whispers of shaitan. So he can't get you physically now. He can do it now with the whispers of shaitan. So he attacks the person with this, in this method as well. So our aim, and there's a method in doing this. So the second stage, inshallah, Imam Qais can go to this, is that person thinks positively. He takes away the evil that enters him. Whatever missile that shaitan sends, he diverts this missile with his mind to back in a different direction to the sea of dunya. This is the way. So the missile comes with his thought. He can redirect this whisper. This is what you should be doing when the person who on the mind sheet, you should direct the missiles of shaitan, even onto shaitan's ship. Do a U-turn onto his. And that's how shaitan becomes scared, and he'll become afraid of you. Or if I fire at him, he's going to come back on me. Like you see, some fingers on a timer, shaitan press the timer, he's going to go for you. But then you have a way of technology, you can redirect back to where it's been. Back to the destruction of where it began. So this is the power of the mind. You could redirect the thought back to destroying shaitan and nafs. So there should be many attractions. In the attractions of dunya, there are many islands. So every island is what? Attractions. So in this world, there are attractions like you have non-mahram, this is another island, you have money, of attaining money and wasting time. This is another attraction, a fun fair of dunya. These are different islands. If you imagine you're on a sea and you see an island full of attraction, fun fair, like Alton Towers, like Chesington going on, you're thinking, that looks very nice. And then you see women, etc., or cars, beautiful cars. These are the islands of dunya. But we should not be distracted by them. Our aim is to reach the island of Allah Azza wa Jal, and where the Prophet ﷺ is. This is where it is. So every lot of islands can be attractive. And sometimes, see, it shows you there's fun fair, and there's women on the island, so people go, yes, that looks very nice. And they go there and this demon comes. How deception that is. So this is how the reality of dunya is, that really it looks attractive and then you find something else. So even there's an island in Brazil, it's called the Snake Island in Brazil. Snake Island. And they have every meter or 3 meters you are near a snake. The poison is 4 times more greater venomous than any snake in the world. And there's at least 4,000 snakes on this island. It used to be occupied by normal people, but because of the snake, they had to go away. So, and with this island, you have a lighthouse. So the lighthouse, that represents what? Something looking good and is safe. It gives you a false appearance of the lighthouse. It's telling you, you come to us as attraction, we are safe. But when you go on this island, it's filled with snakes. So every year, the Brazilian government, what they do, they have to send a whole team of army to go onto this island to change the light bulb on the lighthouse and do some electric work every year. And they take about 5 doctors as well in case they are bitten. If one doctor dies, at least we have 5. So they have many precautions that they take. So imagine that is the life of dunya and an island. What to say when we meet these devils and shayateens? How can we safeguard ourselves? So we should look at the attraction. It may look nice, but behind it there's deception. So what is the map? Where's the compass? The compass is who is directing us, who knows how to get there. We do not know. I've never been to the land of Allah. It is the mashayikh, is those who have been, these are the teachers. They are the maps who will direct you. They are the compass who will direct you to the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is who they are the map on our journey. So we have the body, which is the ship. We are the ship. And the map we also need, which is the teachers and mashayikh. Through their guidance, we can reach and pass the guides, past the attractions, because we know that's not our destination. We look at the map and the compass, that's not our destination. Our destination is the land of Allah Azza wa Jal. So we're almost finished now, but the most important thing, now listen very carefully now. We have the ship, we have everything, we have the map, but it is you who have the control. Remember that. You have the control of which direction you go on this ship. Like you see, this person is struggling because of the wind, because of the sea, because of the storms, but still he's doing every effort to reach the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal. This is what we will get. We'll get tests in this dunya of storms, of the thunders, of the sea. But our aim is to control this will which will lead us to the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal. So we have a choice. If we like to go to the land of pleasure, then we can go. Or we go to the land of the pleasure of Allah. No matter what the circumstances is, no matter what weather we are, what feelings we are. People think of feelings. These are like all different weathers. Like seasons, we have different feelings. So we should go from the feelings of the Prophet ﷺ. So the land of Allah is really our final destination. This is where we want to reach. Because once you reach there, this is everything really. You'll be greeted, and this is where we can take our treasures. We can take the treasure of taqwa and say, oh Allah, I'm here now with my treasures of Iman. Everything that I've attained in dunya is here. Because in the day of judgment, every single thing that we have done will be weighed. Everything. No matter how small it is, how big it is. So don't you think this life is the mission, trying to get every treasure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given in this life? And this is our aim. So one day we reach the land of Allah, is where you will be reunited. This is where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is. This is where they are waiting for you and me. This is where your parents are. This is where your grandparents are, those who you love. They are there waiting. They have gone through this test. They have reached there now. So why are we not going there? Why is it that we're not going to the land of Allah Azza wa Jal? Because really this is our aim, to reach this land. This is the land where you will be pleased. The sea is you please Allah. This life is that you please Allah. And when you reach the island is when Allah will please you. And this is akhirah. This is akhirah. So this is the purpose of even dunya, is to reach the land of Allah. So every jewel will be weighed, as we mentioned, and everything will be placed in reward. But don't despair. Don't despair. Because every day, Ramadan may be coming to an end. But every day the ship travels to the land of Allah. Every day is an opportunity. Every day Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling you to come aboard His ship. Every day. But who is really boarding the ship? Meaning who is really, everyone has aboard this ship. At the time of coming to this life, you have been given a ship. And your ship was that you've got this ship, now go towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's our aim, is that we've got this ship. Our first step is to now take it and listen to the wind and the mercy of Allah. Listen to the call of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we reach this destination. So every day is a chance. So don't miss this opportunity, because one day the ships will stop coming. One day your ship will drown and you will not reach the land of Allah Azza wa Jal. And then it will be too late for you to reach the destination, which is Allah Azza wa Jal. Remember, this is our effort. So if you put effort, have good intention, then you reach this island. After reaching this island, a person should convey the message of Allah. And this is what all the companions have done. This was the mission of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And once a person has done this, then he's achieved something. So what do you do next? Like we mentioned, we've been given a body, which is the ship. We've been given a mission, where to reach. We're given the ultimate map, which is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have given a compass, which are the teachers, how to follow this map, how to reach this island. There are many attractions in dunya. There are many, just to summarize, there are many attractions. It's up to us which island we go to, which attraction we go to. But our aim should be reaching the pleasure and the land of Allah. In your journey, there will be shaitan, there will be pirate ships in every direction trying to board you. But if you can protect and guard yourself and train your body, they will become the warriors and the assassins to defeat shaitan before they even come. Before even shaitan tries to come, they will be assassinated. So shaitan will use other means with whispers. Now you use and direct it with your mind to defeat shaitan. And your ultimate purpose is to reach the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal. And those who live life in Ramadan, so Ramadan was the life of living. And akhirah is really the life where you can become to do Eid. Ramadan is life. It's not just 1 month. It should be your life. And true Eid, the true celebration of Eid, is when you reach the land of Allah Azza wa Jal. This is your mission. So if a person has not already begun, then he should board the journey of this path and really achieve and attain the taqwa. And this is one of the ways, is to go on the prophetic path, and you be attained and you gain mentors, and you be shown the way until you reach the pleasure of Allah. You be given help. Like you need help, you need to call someone. Like this brother who wants to call someone to help him, you've got a phone call as well. The help of Allah's mercy, the help of Allah and the Mashayikh, the help of brothers will come to assist you on this journey. So may Allah Azza wa Jal enable all of us to reach the land of Allah and really keep all the jewels of Ramadan alive and actually gift this to Allah, and He will gift us and weigh it in His pleasure and please us in this life and akhirah. Subhanaka bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. So we have probably a minute or so, if one question. We have 5 minutes if you have any questions in relation to this. So we have really got through this very quickly, the many detailed things that person every scenario and path until you know the journey towards the pleasure of Allah. So inshallah, if you don't understand, then afterwards you should board this path, and those stars, one of those stars can go through it. Okay, TK, I think everyone has understood, inshallah, what little or more. May Allah Azza wa Jalla, inshallah, reward you for listening and forgive me for any shortcomings and reward you for listening. Subhanaka bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Jazakallah to Ustaad Abdul Rahim for that. Just